It is Wednesday, January 1st, in the year 2025, also known as the smartest year ever. I'm Gordy. Today we're talking about year one. The idea of year one. You know, we're starting a new year today. That's exciting, but imagine how exciting it must have been to start a whole new calendar. Like, whoa, we're the first year, everyone. Congrats. Or did it exist like that? How did that work? How long did it take for people to recognize a new calendar? I imagine that would be a tough thing to convince people of. That's a lot of change. People don't like change. And I don't think that has changed over the centuries. So let me tell you a little bit about what I learned about year one. So year one, you know, it's a time of Roman emperors and ancient cities and people not knowing that it was year one. So like if you hopped in a time machine or something like that and you went back and you found some Roman citizen, you're like, oh, what year is it? And they're like, holy crap, you're giant and your teeth look healthy or something. You're the oldest person to ever exist. What are you, 35? Yes, I am very old. No, but they would say something like, it's the 754th year since the founding of Rome, or if they wanted to flex their Latin on you, they'd say Ab Urbe Condita, if they were trying to just impress you, or just because that's the language they spoke. But the concept of year one, as we know it, didn't exist yet. In fact, the entire notion of counting years from the birth of Christ wouldn't exist for another 5 centuries. So how did that system come to be, and why did it take so long to catch on? Well, the calendar system we use today, counting years as before Christ, BC, and Anno Domini, in the year of the Lord, AD, was invented by a monk named Dionysius Exiguus, Exiguus. In 525 CE, which is Common Era, which is the secular version of AD, Dionysius was tasked with calculating the date of Easter. And he wasn't a fan of the Roman calendar that marked years by the reign of Emperor Diocletian, because Diocletian was famous for persecuting Christians, not a guy that Exiguus really wanted to base his timeline after. So Dionysius decided to start fresh, and he calculated the birth of Jesus Christ as year 1 AD, though modern historians think that he got the math wrong by a few years or something like that, but in this case, the Exiguus juice is not worth the squeeze of going back and fixing all of that. That's a lot of work, and so, hey, forget about it. You know, that'd be like, if you think Y2K could have been bad, imagine just shifting everything like a arbitrary amount. Like, yeah, say 3 years. Oh, that'd be a tough conversion. So even after Dionysius proposed the system, it didn't take off right away. The credit for popularizing Anno Domini goes to the English monk Bede the Venerable. Bede, B-E-D-E. He's a saint, but I'm going to call him Mr. Bede because that's kind of funny. And he used it in historical writings during the 8th century. Mr. Bede was the first to extend the AD system to years before Christ, inventing the concept of BC. But even then, the AD system wasn't widely used until the medieval period, and it only became the global standard after the adoption of the Gregorian calendar in 1582, along with Pope Gregory. While Dionysius was busy recalibrating history centuries later, how many people were actually aware that this was year one? No one, you know. But how many people were even alive at that time? Let's say about 200 to 300 million people, which is actually less than the current population of the United States, and that was the estimated world population. Different times, and the largest cities at the time included Rome, which is the heart of the Roman Empire, obviously, Alexandria, the cultural hub of Egypt, and Chang'an, which was the capital of the Han Dynasty in China. There are some weird inflections there when I tried to pronounce it correctly, but kind of, probably really off, but I'm trying on that one. But most people, however, at the time lived in small rural communities, and they would have been blissfully unaware that future generations were debating whether to call it 80 or 180 or 1 CE or anything like that. They had no idea. So, in conclusion, 2025 years ago, nobody knew that it was year one or anything like that. They didn't even have the faintest idea that their lives would be part of a timeline that would one day shape history books, debates about leap years, and countless new year, new me posts. Like, it's just like if someone right now, we could be living year one for some future timeline, who knows? But yeah, so just wanted to share that with you so we don't take the calendar for granted. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't really matter if you take the calendar for granted, really. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting, and I just wanted to share that with you. So thank you so much for listening. All my sources can be found on my YouTube description, at Smartest Year Ever on YouTube and Spotify for the full-length episodes, at Smartest Year Ever on TikTok and Instagram for the 1-minute clips. Please like and subscribe and follow on all those platforms. I'd really appreciate it. In the meantime, it's going to be fun. We have a good year ahead of us. We're just getting started. So stay curious and stay clever on this quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. See you tomorrow in the smartest year ever.